If you're still using Windows 10, here's something you need to know. Microsoft ended support for it just last month. And if you're worried about upgrading to Windows 11 because your computer isn't quite powerful enough or you're just exhausted by constant updates and ads, there's a solution that's about to blow your mind. It's called Zorin OS 18 and it just launched on October 14th, 2025. In less than 48 hours, it was downloaded over 100,000 times. And here's the kicker. More than 70% of those downloads came from Windows users. So what is this and why should you care? Well, stick around. Zorin OS 18 is a Linux operating system, which means it's free, is open source, and is built specifically for people like you who want to escape Windows without losing everything you know. But here's what makes Zorin OS 18 different from other Linux options out there. It's not trying to be weird. It's not trying to be different for the sake of being different. Instead, it's designed to feel immediately familiar. When you first boot it up, you'll see a desktop that looks almost exactly like Windows 11. Clean, modern, intuitive. The rounded corners, the lighter color palette, the familiar taskbar, it's all there. And it's not a copy, it's something better. Because underneath that familiar surface is a completely different operating system running on Ubuntu 24.04 LTS, which means you are getting a system that's going to be supported and updated until June 2029. That's 4 years of guaranteed security updates and stability. Now, let's talk about one of the coolest features in Zorin OS 18. And this alone might convince you to make the switch. It's called window tiling. And here's how it works. You know how frustrating it is when you're trying to work with two applications side by side and you have to manually resize them, drag them around, get them just right. Zorin OS 18 eliminates that completely. Just grab a window and drag it to the top of your screen. The moment you do, a menu appears giving you different layout options. You can arrange your windows in 2 columns, 3 columns, or any configuration you need. One click, it's done. Your windows snap into place perfectly. It's like having a personal assistant who's always making sure your workspace is organized. This feature alone saves hours of frustration and is built right in by the default. Here's the thing that stops most people from switching away from Windows. All your applications. What happens to Microsoft Office? What about that old program your business uses? What about all those installers you have collected over the years? Zorin OS 18 has an answer for this and is brilliant. The system has been trained to recognize over 170 Windows applications. So when you try to install a Windows program, Zorin OS 18 doesn't just throw up its hands and say, I can't do that. Instead, it actually analyzes what you're trying to install. It recognizes it and then it offers you tailored alternatives. If you're trying to install Microsoft Office, it recommends LibreOffice, which is free and can open all your Word documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. If you're trying to install some other Windows applications, it might recommend a web app or a native Linux alternative. But if you really truly need that Windows program, Zorin OS 18 uses something called Wine, which is a compatibility layer that lets Linux run Windows software. If you want to know more about Wine, please check the complete video on Wine 10.16, which I had posted on October 10, 2025. Wine is like having an interpreter that translates Windows language into Linux language in real time. This means you're not locked out of Windows ecosystem. You get a bridge between two worlds. Here's something that really sets Zorin OS 18 apart from other Linux systems. What if you want your computer to feel like Mac OS instead of Windows? Or what if you want that old Windows 7 look that you actually loved? Or maybe you want something completely different. With Zorin OS 18, you can change the entire look and feel of your desktop with a single click through the Zorin Appearance feature. You've got multiple desktop styles built in. There's the Windows style for the familiar feel. There's the old Windows style if you're nostalgic. There's a tablet and phone style if you want something completely different. And there's a Mac OS inspired style. The incredible part, you don't need to restart your computer. It happens instantly. Your entire desktop transforms right in front of you. It's like your computer has multiple personalities and you can switch between them whenever you want. If you go with Zorin OS 18 Pro, you get even more options. There's a compact panel layout. There's a cinnamon style desktop that mimics Linux Mint's design. And there's a layout inspired by Elementary OS. 6 premium layouts in total. This flexibility means your computer can evolve with your mood, your workflow, or your preferences. One thing Windows users have gotten used to is OneDrive, your files in the cloud. Your documents, photos, everything synced and accessible from anywhere. You might think switching to Linux means losing that, but Zorin OS 18 built that in. Through the online accounts feature, you can browse and manage your OneDrive files directly from the Files app. Your cloud storage is integrated seamlessly, no separate application needed, no complicated setup, just natural built-in integration. Under the hood, Zorin OS 18 is running Pipewire as its default audio server backend. What does that mean for you? It means better sound quality and lower latency. If you are an audio professional, a gamer, or someone who just cares about sound quality, this matters. Your computer is gonna sound a lot better. Now, Zorin OS 18 isn't just one thing. There's a free core version that has everything we have talked about. But if you want the premium experience, there's Zorin OS 18 Pro. It's 47.99 euros, which is about $55. For that, you get access to all those professional desktop layouts I mentioned, a creative suite of professional grade applications, and exclusive apps like DeskFlow for sharing your keyboard and mouse between computers, Warp for secure file transfers, and Wallet for time and earnings trackings. If you're in education, there's also Zorin OS Education Edition, which comes with specialized apps like Gradebook, SpeedRead for speed reading, and Turbo Warp for learning programming. So here's the bottom line. Windows 10 support just ended. Windows 11 might not run on your computer, but Zorin OS 18 will. It'll run on older machines, it'll run beautifully, it'll feel familiar, and it'll be free. Is it right for you? That's something only you can decide. But for millions of people who just got the Windows 10 death notice, Zorin OS 18 isn't just an alternative, it's a fresh start. And with over 100,000 people already making the switch, you might want to see what all the fuss is about. If you like this video, please help us by subscribing to this channel. I'm your host from Italian News Channel, and I'll see you again in the next video.